And our top focus on WION right now. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has formally accepted the GOP nomination for president for a third time at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Lee Greenwood performed God Bless America before Trump made his way on the stage. The firefighter jacket and helmet of the victim of the rally shooting, Corey Comparator, was also brought on stage. The crowd cheered as Trump described the shooting last Saturday. He said, I'm quoting here, "I had God on my side."
And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great sorrow.
Trump also called for an end to discord and division as he accepted the GOP nomination.
Together we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
Trump has connected the assassination attempt to his campaign for the White House. He said, and I'm quoting here, "Nothing will stop us. I will never stop fighting for you and our country." Trump said all of the people that have tried to fight Make America Great Again have failed. He also addressed his running mate, J.D. Vance, almost as he has chosen Vance as a political heir. He told him, and I'm quoting here, "You're going to be doing this for a long time." In a speech where Trump was to be softer, even while focusing on his policy contrast, he addressed all issues with his aggressive rhetoric. He mentioned Biden once and said, and I'm quoting here, "If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the U.S., think of it. The 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage Biden has done." He also spoke on border issues, saying that he will close the border for immigrants, and I quote, "will stop the invasion." Trump attacked Biden administration on every issue from wars to immigration and inflation, claiming that he brought the biggest tax cuts. Trump also claimed that immigrants are taking jobs from Black and Latino Americans.
I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall, most of which I've already built. But to achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership. We have totally incompetent leadership. This will be the most important election in the history of our country.
Addressing world issues, his speech stressed that under Biden, wars and crises have ballooned in Europe, West Asia and Asia. He addressed that the current West Asia war and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. He said, and I'm quoting him, "Our planet is teetering on the verge of World War III. He claimed that he will end the war, which he said would not have happened if he was the president. He mentioned that the attack on Israel and claimed if he was president, the attack would have never occurred as Iran has no money. As slow as he started the speech, he ended the speech as much energy, asserting that he will make America great again.
And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you, Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
And for more on this, we're now being joined by John Potts, who is a professor in political science at Northeastern University in Boston. He's joining us live from Boston. Welcome to the show, sir. Now, we heard former U.S. President Donald Trump's speech at the RNC, which lasted for about 90-odd minutes. The speech was different from his earlier addresses, a clear departure from the strong rhetoric he has often used on the campaign trail. What, according to you, were the key highlights? What stood out for you?
Well, I think you captured some of those in your reporting. I will say, though, a lot of his speech ended up being fairly close to what he does in a regular campaign speech. But at the very beginning, as you noted, it was a very different tone, a tone of trying to frame the issues in terms of national unity. He made that comment that you quoted, or that he mentioned, we rise together or we fall apart. And so that was a different message. And many people were kind of wondering if that's the message he would give. And he started that way. And then he went into the discussion, a rather detailed description of the assassination attempt. But then after that, he actually, for much of a good part of the rest of the speech, he went off script and approached it more similar to what he does in a campaign speech, where he talks about all the things that are wrong under the current administration and how he would change those or how he's done things better in the past. And that probably lasted for well over half of the time.
Right, Professor Potts, just following up on what you said, that he started off slow and then he started talking about all that is wrong within the Biden administration. It did look like that the speech was an amalgamation of Make America Great Again and Make America One Again. Do you think that the Americans today saw a different version of Trump, where there was perhaps a switch in Trump's speech from attacks on Biden's policies to message of unity, and how perhaps did his speech resonate amongst the Americans?
Well, I think, again, his speech was bifurcated in that way. And the first part was a very different speech that I think people were expecting this or thought might happen around this notion of more national unity. And I think that would appeal, to an independent crowd more so than some of the rest of it. And the rest of it then kind of reverted back to what he was doing before, which certainly appeals to his base. His electoral base, but less so, I think, to the larger population. So we will see what happens. I mean, overall, I think the convention, the 4 days, went quite well for the Republicans. Lots of energy, tremendous amount of energy at that convention, and I think it was also, the assassination attempt happened just 2 days before the convention started. So that kind of put a cast over the entire event. And so people were very much anticipating and kind of feeling very close to him and wanting to support him at the convention.
But absolutely, there was a lot of enthusiasm indeed in Milwaukee when Trump took over the stage. On the unity front, Trump said that he wants to be the president for the whole of America. How do you assess Republic camp's campaigning goal changing from here on?
Moving forward, I think the question will be whether he tries to continue that part of the speech, the early part, that theme of creating national unity versus the more typical approach that he's taken in the past, which is really kind of divide and conquer, and exaggerating. And people see this after a while. He tends to exaggerate. Politicians exaggerate quite a bit anyway, but he will exaggerate the negatives and exaggerate the positives. And the comment he made at one point was, on the international front, he said, I could stop wars with a telephone call. And, Ukraine wouldn't have happened and the Gaza wouldn't have happened. So, I mean, there's some elements of exaggeration that people at some point kind of turn off to a little bit.
Right, Professor Potts, when we're talking about the Republicans campaigning moving forward, we have to talk about what's happening in the Democratic camp. With Trump's speech and the assassination attempt perhaps uniting the Republicans like never before on one hand, while on the other, the Democrats are bitterly divided about whether Biden should continue to lead the Democrat ticket or not. How do you assess the situation right now with the Democratic camp?
Absolutely. They're in the opposite situation as Republicans, very divided. I think it's looking like, and I hesitate to make predictions on this, but I think it's looking like that Biden will probably step down in the next few days, perhaps. We'll see. This has been going on for 3 weeks now. But there's certainly going to be, even if he does, depending a little bit on how he does that, and does he kind of try to pass the baton, so to speak, to Kamala Harris, or is it going to be an open process for the next four weeks until the Democratic convention? So there's a lot of decisions that have to be made here, and there's going to be a lot of bickering within the Democratic Party as to how to move forward. So, they may come out of it positive, but it'll take a month to get there, I think, and hopefully they would pull it all together at the convention in the middle of August.
Well, thank you so much, Professor Potts, for joining us on the show with analysis on Trump's speech at the RNC.
Okay, thank you.